Now joined by political analyst, Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast. Prof, thank you so much for your time and thank you so much for joining us. Now, the ANC has been on a continued road of renewal. What's your take on this new program that they're putting together for all members of the party with regards to political education?
Well, first of all, I speak as an outsider. You know, I think the ANC should be congratulated like any revolutionary organization for a good job well done, even though of late it has been dealt with a blow in a big way. It needs to be congratulated in a sense that you can't be a revolutionary organization and not stress the centrality of political education. One of the hallmarks of a member of a revolutionary organization is political agitation. That comes with political education, you know, class consciousness, the ability to engage in political propaganda, the ability to fuse theory and practice. So I agree with the characterization of the ANC that one of its challenges has been the fact that some of its members have been politically baptized into factionalism as opposed to be politically baptized into political education. So yeah, I mean, this is a step towards the right direction, but there needs to be a strong emphasis on the nexus between theory and practice so that ANC members, in my opinion, don't just become armchair philosophers or philosophers of war who cannot engage in a practice.
Maybe let's just take a step back, Prof, in terms of other resources and tools that have existed within the ANC that have tried to create platforms for political education. Umkhabulo through the needle, through the eye of the needle. How have those not worked or sort of assisted in getting the right caliber of comrades to exist within the organization?
Yes, Umkhabulo has always been one of the, I would say, the propaganda machinery, you know, strategies of the ANC to propagate its, you know, ideological standpoint and posture through the iron of the needle. I think it's a policy document that is meant to assess ANC members who are to be deployed. That has not been applied consistently. But yeah, I mean, those practices and policies also, they need to be brought to the fore in terms of framing the discourse on what the ANC stands for going forward. But I think this is a step towards the right direction.
And in addition to this, with some of the speakers that came forward today with regards to this program, Makura spoke about, together with this foundational course, the ANC has also adopted a new system of how they're going to renew membership in terms of asking people who they are, what they want, why they want to join the ANC, and what their motive is. Is this going to help, especially with the course of cutting down on corruption that seemingly exists within the ANC?
I understand the rationale behind that, because I would argue and say one of the challenges of the ANC and other liberation movements in post-colonial states is the fact that liberation movements, by design, they tend to have proximity to power. Therefore, sometimes they recruit people who have nothing to do with what they are about or what they stand for, who want to use them as a vehicle to access economic resources. So that has been the challenge that the ANC has been faced with, of having members who are not in line with what the ANC stands for. So it's good to subject them to interviews and maybe do some intelligence work about those members. I think this is a good a reflection for the party.
Do you think maybe the existence of other political parties like the EFF and the MK party has sort of nudged the ANC into this direction?
Yes. I think so because they've really given the ANC a good run for its money. In particular, I mean, both the EFF and Umkhonto weSizwe, but Umkhonto weSizwe has been really the threat to the ANC. But even themselves too, they also need to follow suit, in terms of inculcating class consciousness, political agitation, producing solid comrades. Because if you know what the party is about, why would you want to engage in a corruption? Because I would argue and say engaging in corruption is an antithesis of discipline. It's an expression of being ill-disciplined.
Lastly, Prof, I mean, we saw the absence of the former President Thabo Mbeki in terms of the program at the funeral of former cabinet minister Tito Mboweni, and then seemingly today he was also supposed to be the one giving the address in terms of launching the program in the education. Is there something that we be looking into with regards to the relationship that could exist between the current party president and the former President Thabo Mbeki?
Well, former President Mbeki has been very critical. He speaks his mind. He has been very critical of the Ramaphosa administration. He has taken a swipe at the administration and taken a swipe at the president. Has been a critic of Phala. So I think he was omitted on purpose. I think there was a fear, some maybe they were sensing a danger that he might outshine the president. So they omit. I think it was done on purpose so that the president maybe becomes the one that is under the spotlight.
But then what precedence does it then set in this renewal journey that the ANC is trying to undertake when criticism from what seemingly is an elder within the party is not taken up with such great response?
Well, some people, when they're being criticized, that doesn't sit well with them. Some personalized things, or maybe some, I read in one of the weekly newspapers that the family of the late minister went to apologize to former President Mbeki, that they wanted to honor, the wishes of the late minister to allow former President Mbeki to speak at his funeral, Mr. Tito Mboweni. So it was really unfortunate that he could not be given the platform. But yeah, I think it's quite clear that there are issues between the two, but maybe something that ANC members need to express their views within the party, not outside the party. But it's one of those things, we differ how we take criticism.
Of course, all the dynamics. Well, thank you so much for weighing in and giving us your input. That's Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast speaking to us there about the compulsory political education program that the ANC is embarking on.